Welcome to Adventures with Captain Ray Kelly. This is primarily a drone show. We'll be sharing adventures from all over the world. We hope to have interesting guests every week, and we're glad that you tuned in tonight. We'll be flying different drones in different locations. We encourage viewer participation in the chat. If you have a question, don't be afraid to ask. Every week we'll have another interesting guest. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. We'll be sharing various adventures by our guests as well as myself. And thank you for joining us tonight. Hi, welcome everybody. Welcome to Adventures with Captain Ray Kelly Live. It's Thursday night and another week has passed, and it's good to see everybody, really. I have a great show lined up tonight, with two awesome special guests. A lot of you know Rob Camarda of Aviano Aerial Photography, and we're also going to have a new guy. I don't think anybody knows him, but he's very, very interesting. I talked to him briefly in the back room, and I know you're gonna really find Jamie Shaw of Drone Up Solutions very, very interesting because he's going to tell us about his business, and I was amazed, really. So stand by; it's going to be a great show. But I tell you, every week I say it, that I am so nervous. I wonder how many people are going to be watching, this week, and I get in the back room and I see a few people are already in the chat, and it always makes me feel good. At least we're going to get a few people, but we got quite a few in the back room already. And You guys really are the life of the show. You make it successful. When Johnny Alfonso and myself started doing the Fly for Fun show, we had the same thing. Oh my God, nobody's going to watch us, two old guys talking about drones. And you did. The viewers are what make it, really. So I got to say thank you, really, from the bottom of my heart, really. Um, and I tell you, I I did some flying. I got out to those guys barbecue fly this past Saturday, and Lawrence Clark and Herman Green, they decided to have another meetup in Brooklyn. And I was so excited because I went to their first one that they had there at Calvert Vaux Park, and I couldn't wait for them to have another one. Then they didn't have it, and 2 years had passed, and this year they decided to have another one. So I went in there and I met them, and I brought in the new guy, Joe Lee. He came in, and well, he met me in there actually, and met all the guys that showed up and gals, and it was great. It's always great having a meetup, as you guys know. We have that South Florida drone meetup, and that'll be coming up before you know it. That's going to be in April 2025, April 4th to the 7th, 2025, and we're going to have a good time at that. But I just want to show a little bit of this video of us at the Brooklyn Those Guys Barbecue Fly because it's really cool. And the reason it's so cool is they have a sunken yellow submarine right there, and it's so cool to fly, really. So just enjoy this. I'm only going to show a little bit of it.
We're gonna go to
And,
Calvin Vaux
again, thank
Park,
you all for tuning in
which
tonight.
is the
Really,
second annual Those Guys Barbecue Fly. It's gonna be
not
a
just
great
some of
time.
us. I
Come on
decided to
along.
do a selfie, a
And I'm
group
gonna give you a
selfie, but
great look
guys had
at
already
this
left
yellow
already.
sunken
But that's
submarine.
that yellow submarine right there.
Hi, welcome to Adventures with Captain Ray Kelly. I'm here at Calvert Vaux Park in Brooklyn. I'm with Joe Lee. He's already sent his Mini 3 up. He's heading towards the Yellow Submarine.
Sorry for the
And
background noise.
we're here
Should have used
because
my wireless
those
mics.
guys, Lawrence and Herman, are having a meetup. They call it the barbecue fly. So
Yeah, and Angel was
it's
supposed to
gonna be a
come, but he
great
was
day.
sick. He didn't
Tomorrow
make
morning.
it. We missed you, Angel.
Joe, how you doing?
But look at this place where
There
you
he
fly
goes.
from.
He's sending up the Mini 3, the Mini 3. He's heading out towards the submarine.
Hey, Dominic, how you doing? Really, he loves his Mini 3, I
Then,
tell
of
you.
course, it was my turn to send my Mavic 3 up.
But I give credit to Lawrence and Herman because it takes a lot. It's a lot of work to put on a meetup, especially that they cook for
This body
everybody.
of water is the Coney Island Creek.
And
There's a
Gary,
parachute jump off in the distance
Gary
there.
Foster came all the way down from
That's the yellow
Canada. He
submarine there.
joined us
But
with
I'll
his
give you a
lovely
closer
wife
look at
Vicky.
that shortly.
But look at this place
There's also a lot of
to
sunken
fly,
ledges
really.
here. This is really a great place to fly drones.
Yep.
The sub's
Here
name
comes
was
the sub right
Bristol
now.
1, and it sunk on the day it was going to be launched.
Can you imagine that? The
I
day it
subbed on the
launched,
bay bottom, and there it remained ever since.
1970.
This is really a cool place to fly drones.
And there it is,
You can also
the
get
famous
great
yellow
views of the
submarine.
New York City
But
skyline.
anyway,
That's the Empire
do
State
you want to
Building
watch
right
the
there.
rest of that video? You got to go to my
And then we
channel.
swing west. That's the
And
Verrazano Bridge, which connects Brooklyn
it
to
was a
Staten
great
Island.
time. That's all I'm going to say. And I hope they have another one
It
next
was almost
summer.
high tide, and needless to say, you see more of the submarine at low tide.
But I know I not that I forgot, but I wanted to change the format a little bit, let a few more people come in before I acknowledged everybody. And we got 20 people watching right now. And Paul Brown, he was number one, and it was good to see Paul. And Paul Reed, he was right behind him, number two. He's watching down in Pennsylvania. And then we got Angel, number three, Drone Guy 42 Adventures. And I think Jeremy's, some drone guy was number four. But anyway, thank you guys. Really, I appreciate it. John Olson's in the house, and I may be flying with John in the morning. That's the plan. Anyway, as long as that rain holds off. And I know Jody's in the house. Drone Shots, how you doing? Good to see you. Brian, Waypoint New England. And it means so much to me, guys. Like I said, that you take the time out of your evening to watch my show. And you know, most of you are supporters of all the other shows too. So I got to say thank you for that, really. And Joe, Jaybird Drones, he's in the house, watching out in Ohio. How you doing? Good to see you. And Captain Joe, USA Drone Flyer, Captain Joe America's in the house, watching down in Louisiana. So thank you guys, really. And I know I saw Mark R. White. How you doing? And John Gregory, the Connecticut Pirate, you know, and I had the pleasure of flying with him a few weeks ago. He took me to his secret spots over in Connecticut, and we had a good day flying. So thank you, John, for that. And Mudball, Don's in the house. I don't know if Fish Eye's there alongside, but it's good to see Don in the chat. How you doing, Don? And I see you were on Gary's live stream today as the co-host. And then you guys had Jeff Norman on too. It was interesting to say the least. And Dominic, I said Dominic already. He's watching down in Australia. But I'm going to get back to the names very shortly because Rob Camarda is in the back room and he's starting to give me eyes. He must be out of the shrimp and lobster. So I'll keep an eye out on the chat. Try to acknowledge people as they come in. And Alan's watching all the way in Ireland. Drone Views Media. How you doing, Alan? Good to see you. Jerry Bauer and John Flynn. Good to see you. There's Jim's droning. But I want everybody to give a warm welcome to Rob Kamada because in my book he's one of the best guys in the drone community. So hey, Rob,
Hey, hold on. I just need two more shrimp, and I'm good. All right.
you ran out of the shrimp and
They're running out
lobster.
of shrimp on me.
Good,
Only blue M&Ms. All right.
good to see you, Rob. How you doing?
Very good, Ray. Very good. It was great seeing you in Brooklyn this weekend.
I know. You finally, made it in there.
Yeah, I work 10 minutes from there, so on my way home, I stopped there for a couple of hours.
I
It
know.
was nice seeing everybody.
What'd you think about that drone flying location? Have you ever flown at Calvin Forks Park?
I haven't flown there before. I, I got some nice shots of the subs as we were talking in the back room. I really don't post. I'll save that. I have everything that I've ever recorded. I have stored, and when I retire, I'll guess I'll get into editing and posting. But until then, I just don't have the time.
I know you're a busy guy.
Yeah,
But you do make the time to fly with me every once in a while, and I appreciate that.
yeah, we have a good time.
I know. I told you about a couple of my secret spots out here on Long Island.
Yeah, one of them I want to go back to, that little house that you went to. I think again 2 weeks ago. That little house on the water.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
Stony Brook. Yeah,
yeah. I want to go
we
back.
had been there. Remember, we went there
Yes.
a couple of years ago.
Yeah, two
Yeah,
years ago, and there was nothing but gnats. I had the drone above my head
I
just to keep the
know,
gnats away.
I know. But the cottage is still there. It survives all the storms that Long Island has, and we had that real bad rainstorm where it caused a lot of erosion and damage, but
And
it survived.
yeah, the house is always there.
Yeah, so we'll definitely get back there. But have you been flying other than this past weekend?
Recreationally, not at all.
Well, you
Um,
work. You do
yeah,
Port 107 work.
yeah, that keeps me busy. Uh, Been doing some cell towers here on Long Island, and I know some people who do drone work don't want to hear this, but I've been doing a lot of work with Zeta View when the
Okay.
pricing is right. Um, that mapping, easy mapping jobs and stuff like that.
Okay. Well, no, people want to hear about that. We find that interesting.
They don't pay well,
Oh,
um,
okay.
but the way I always look at it is it's good work experience with a drone, and it's a even though you're really not supposed to, it's a good way to promote what you do. When you're flying, you get to meet contractors and everything else, and it turns into other jobs.
Right. Of course. Yeah. Well, you took me on one of those jobs one
Yeah,
time. You invited me to
yeah,
go in with you,
yeah.
and I found it so interesting. You mapping that job, really.
And mapping is very easy, right? You just program everything in, and you sit back underneath an umbrella or a tent, and you let the drone do the work.
Yeah, I know. I was totally impressed, really. But lately you've expanded. You've been doing some other kind of drone jobs. Can we
Well,
can we talk about them at all?
sure, absolutely.
You're
Go
you're
ahead.
involved with Sky Elements, if I'm not mistaken.
Correct. Sky, and for those who don't know, Sky Elements is actually has been on America's Got Talent. Ray, believe you mentioned that they came in third, which is pretty impressive for uh, a drone show in that environment. That's really about individuals, competing and singing and dancing or ventriloquism. So for them to get third is pretty impressive. The tech side of it is, where I get all geeky, and just want to learn as much as I can. Uh, but yeah, like I said to you in the back room, for the most part, I was a glorified battery changer for the drones. We set them up 1 meter apart and make sure they all function the way they should before they take off, and then they go.
And how many drones were in the jobs? Because you did another job also. You did two so far
Well,
with them, right?
Yeah, the first job, which was at the Tesla Science Center, um, Nikola Tesla, not Elon Musk Tesla. So was 200 drones, and then I did a show. I think 3 weeks ago, maybe a month ago now. Beginning of the month. Yeah, it was like the first weekend in September. That was 250 drones.
Ah,
So
very, very cool. Hey, we got Warren Akirasho in the house. How you doing, Warren? And Michael Belshi, good to see you. Yeah, no, I find the drone shows so interesting. I think they are very, very cool. What do you think working behind the scenes at the drone show?
for
Really?
me personally, as far as watching, I think the coolest part of the show is the drones taking off and landing. That's just awesome,
Right,
just
exactly.
awesome.
And I had sort of the inside track on that Tesla job that you had,
Yeah,
and you had told me, I
yeah.
was at my secret little location that I was actually thinking of sending up my drone to film the drone show. And then I thought better of it. I said, no, I'm not going to even get involved or get even close.
So
And I chickened out, to be honest with you, and I filmed it from the ground.
here's what's a little. I mean, there's no TFR, right, when they're doing these shows,
No, I know.
but they also put up a drone to film each show, the setup and the actual show itself, where they'll fly through their drone show with like a Mavic 3. At least that's what they used the days that I was there. So again, at night is you really can't see the other drone, right? The 3 statute mile light is on top.
I was looking for that, to be honest with you, because I
Yeah,
know they do that, but I did not see it flying
yeah.
around.
So you're really not going to see it flying around, and it's. I would want to I want to put up a drone too for the drone show, but we have other responsibilities when the show is going on. Uh, the instructions for drone failure are pretty interesting. What you have to do in order to protect the crowd. Uh,
Okay.
so the back end of it, the working end of it is what I always find interesting.
Yeah, yeah. No, no, I know. I really was impressed when I saw it. That was my first drone show that I actually saw in person, and I was very impressed with it. I really was.
Yeah, the good group of people that always show up, and just about anybody. If you just send an email to Sky Elements, if you're interested in doing it, and there's a show in your area, it's they'll set you up in the Group Me app. If it's like a chat group, and when there are shows in specific regions, they target the people that are in those areas.
That's good
Uh,
to know. Yeah, that's
yeah,
good to know. Very good. Really. If anybody has any questions for Rob or Jamie when he comes in, you know, ask away. Keep an eye out on the chat. And you too, Rob. Sometimes I miss the question, but here's one from Paul. So, um, you've done a lot of varied work with drones. I'm curious what job you've done that made you feel like you made the biggest difference for others.
it's
Good.
absolutely my work in the Syosset Fire Department.
We're going to
We
get
have,
into that
yeah,
now. Yep,
absolutely. The Syosset Fire Department. We, myself and Captain Jack Lord of Truck Company 2 in the Syosset Fire Department, the two of us together, that makes me the most proud. We have two missions where we found lost individuals. One was an autistic person
that's good.
in the middle of a crowd, and we found them with the drone.
Yeah,
And we found an injured person at a local park here. It's called Stillwell Preserves.
good. Yeah, congratulations. And Rob, I said it many times already, but thank you for your service doing that. That is a tremendous thing that you've done with the Syosset Fire Department. Really, you volunteered and started that program
I volunteered
with
my
with
time and my
your own
equipment, right?
drones
My own
initially.
equipment. Yeah.
So tell us how it evolved, that program.
It started with a meeting with the commissioners, which there are 5 members, and they were very reluctant. But I gave them an offer. I hate to sound like the Godfather, but I made them an offer they couldn't refuse. I offered my time. When an actual structure fire or a need for a drone would come in, my time and my equipment. And I said, if you guys are, give me 12 months. And if you're happy with the data I collect and the information you get while on scene, well, then let's do it within the department, within a budget, and start a program. And the first 2 structure fires that I flew with my own equipment, one was literally across the street from my house, and the other one was down the block from my house. So it was
Close to home.
I'm first on scene with the drone, which
That's great.
you really don't want, because that you want the when there's an emergency like that, you want the engine on scene, the truck on scene, the chief's on scene. The drone's not important. It's really a tertiary tool just to help communicate information to the incident commander. It's a lot different for the incident commander getting radio communication and building a picture of the scene, as opposed to having a drone up and a thermal imaging drone where you could really see what's going on, and then
The hot spots and everything.
right, you can see where the hot spots are, and you can get a full view of the structure that's on fire.
Yeah.
Specifically, if it's
total
a building.
overview.
Right. Total overview. You could see what's on the roof, what type of equipment, whether it's, what type of HVAC units are, where they're located on the structure, what type of parapet wall. So, a lot of businesses have a parapet wall, where a parapet wall is a facade in the front.
Okay.
And it really has a major drop off.
All right.
And to put a ladder or a tower ladder or even just a ladder truck up, that's not the best place to do it. You want to go to either the sides or the rear of the building, and you get that information immediately with the drone.
Great. Yeah. Very, very cool. Very cool. I give you a lot of credit, Rob. I've said it many, many times. It's really great where you've taken this program too. And you're training a lot of pilots too. But let me say hello to a couple of people. We've got Steven Drones in the house. How you doing? And Ted Nemitz watching tonight. How you doing, Ted? Good to see you. And Ronnie, God bless America. Always good to see you. So now you started this, and William's in the house now. How you doing, William? Good to see you. But anyway, you started training a lot of drone pilots, correct?
Correct. Yeah, I'm training our pilots. We went from myself and, like I said, Captain Lord, 2 pilots only. We now have 9 pilots that are fully trained and able to respond to calls with our 2 department drones. I'm training the Melville Fire Department and their pilots. We've got 6 pilots in the queue in training right now, which is kind of funny because they have a really, really experienced drone pilot within their ranks, but they prefer to outsource it to me. And Ray, you know me,
really,
kind of a very by the book.
I know,
person, and I'm pretty strict with when you're flying at a structure fire or a call. The flying is very easy for the most part. You're putting the drone up and really leaving it where it is in any given space. Once you have the view of the structure that you want, but what I tell these pilots, and they all have their 107 before they start the flight training. What I do is I set up a NIST course, and it's a series of buckets with targets in them, and you have to line up the drone and the gimbal on the camera correctly in order to get those shots. Is that really important on a structure fire? No, but it makes them better pilots.
Exactly. Yeah.
In general, and that's the goal. That's the goal.
Yeah, we got Ron Johnson in the house. How you doing, Ron? Yeah, no, your training program really sounds really, really great. It does, and I give you a lot of credit again to train all these guys now.
It's a lot of time,
Yeah. I have one of your videos. Well, one of my videos.
One of your videos, because I don't post videos.
Because you've invited me to a couple of events at the Syosset Fire Department, and and I appreciate you doing that, But this was at a washdown, if you remember. I was,
New York.
and
There's a big ceremony
let the
going
viewers
on.
see it because this is a
I had the
cool,
privilege
cool
of
thing.
attending as Rob Camarda, one of the drone pilots, invited me. Rob's daughter Jessica was also there taking photos.
I found
The
this
Jeeps
thing
dedicated to
so,
6
so
trucks,
interesting.
and then it was on to the wet
Yeah, we
down
dedicate each
festivities.
engine to a member of the company that engine serves in, or a past member.
And you dedicated quite a few engines that day.
Right. We have the good fortune.
Time Rob's office, I
We
didn't know
purchased
this.
5 brand new engines. They're identical. This way, unlike the FDNY where you have set crews and set firehouses, our goal is to get the engines to the scene as
Right, so
quickly as
anyway, I'm
possible.
here with Rob
And
Camarda,
whatever firehouse you're
Fabiano
closer to
Aerial
is the one you
Photography.
respond to.
Well, Rob is
So
a
you could drive
volunteer
any
firefighter,
engine,
he flies
and
a drone for the
they're all
Fire
identical.
Department.
Yeah.
So let's see if I can get a few words in. Looks kind of busy, but
You don't like to be interviewed,
Rob,
Rob.
what are you doing there,
No,
Rob?
not at all.
Setting up to
Not
take
at all.
off, get some shots,
Look at that profile.
waiting to get a full connection.
Yeah.
Which we do. Gimbal works, camera works.
All right. Props are spinning.
Hey, Lawrence is in the house. How you doing, Lawrence?
Look at that drone. Look at that drone.
Hey, Lawrence.
Rob's flying. He's a 2 Pro here.
All right, that's enough about me. Let's bring in the real interesting guest.
I know. But this was a great day, Rob, of you flying, and you invited me, and you let me fly right next to you.
I actually
gotta
posted
say
a
thank you.
TikTok.
Rob,
I used tilt shift editing during this wet down, and I posted a TikTok that came out really cool.
Rob. They got water spraying.
Yeah. This was so cool. I know you've seen them before, but when
Yeah.
you see this for the first time,
Right. For those that don't know, this
Setting up
yes, the
prior,
way
but the wet down festivities were about to start.
departments on Long
So I set
Island,
up
a lot of
my Mavic
volunteer
3.
departments, we
shots.
baptize, for lack of a better word, new apparatus coming into service.
hey, we got Darren's in the house. He's watching over in Ireland. How you doing? And I got to say, I was a little nervous flying because it was drizzling a little bit, if
Yeah.
you remember right that day.
I do remember.
You
That
know,
parking lot's wet, not from the water we're flowing, from the downpours we had that morning, and then it was drizzling when we went up. I flew my Ortel right through that water.
look at this. I know, it's so cool, really. But anyway, if you guys want to watch the rest of that video, just go to my channel. And I got to say, thank you again for your service, Rob. It's a great thing that you're doing, really.
Community service, give a little back. I'm pretty fortunate in my life, and it's a way for me to give a little bit back to my community.
Well, why don't we just, you want to introduce Jamie, or you want me to?
It's your show, right?
Well, all right. I'm going to bring in our next guest then, but I got to give the credit where credit's due. And Rob made the arrangements for Jamie Shaw to be on the show tonight. And when he mentioned to me, I said, oh, yeah, he'd be an awesome special guest. He's got a drone business, Drone Op Solutions, New York. And you're going to find it very interesting what he does. So please give a warm welcome to Jamie Shaw. He's coming to us all the way up in Rochester, right?
I am.
Right now. He's from Long Island.
I'm up here for work. I'll be flying home this weekend. But thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
Welcome to Adventures with Captain Ray Kelly Live. When Rob told me about you and your business, I was so intrigued, really.
Thank you.
And I always enjoy meeting new drone pilots, So tell me and the viewers in the chat about Jamie Shaw and how you became involved in drones, flying drones, and then get your Part 107 and your business.
Yeah, well, thank you again. Aviation really is it has been my passion for all of my adult life. At 17 years old, I got my Part 61 private pilot's license. At 18, I got my instrument rating, and it was going to be my career path. Clearly, I'm not a commercial pilot at the moment, nor do I want to be. The fact that did not work out the way I envisioned it has been the best. For the last 20 years, I've been in property management. For the last 13 years, I've owned my own property management company on Long Island. And at its biggest, we had 20 communities, 1,500 apartments, and I closed it. It paid my life and ran my life for those 13 years, and I closed it at the end of last year to open Drone Op Solutions of America. It's not New York any longer.
Okay.
Because of what I saw I had. So Drone Op Solutions of America is basically a drone solution company. We use drones as tools in the commercial sector only. We don't do any residential work.
Okay.
I'm also a certified thermographer for infrared. About 2 years ago, I went out to Seattle, spent a week out there, and got my certification for infrared. So I use one of the thermal drones like Rob uses for the department. For my engineering clients, they hire me for, leak detection, whether it's water leaks, air leaks, things like that. I don't do much mapping. I have Skydio drones, DJI drones, custom drones, but the highlight of my company really are my power washing drones.
And I'm going to show a couple of videos on this too. So.
Why don't you do that first? Because it might.
Yeah, I will. But William has a question. He would love to start making a little extra cash in his spare time. Any advice for him?
In my opinion, have a plan. Don't do anything haphazardly. Don't just because you have the license, just throw things at the wall. Really try to sit down, look at what your strengths are with drones. Rob, you said mapping. I know how to do it. It's not my strength. I don't do it. I don't like it. So it's not something I advertise, right? And honestly, if I get work, I farm it out. So hey, now I know where I can send it.
Very cool. Very good.
But really having the patience to really go out to the public when you're ready, when you're 100% ready, with literature, brochures, a website, substantial information that can substantiate you as a company. Even if you're a new company, you might not have a whole long content reel, right? But if you're organized and present yourself like you're organized, that's going to go a long way.
Yeah. Well, anyway, I got one of your videos ready to go, and you can narrate over it.
Yeah. I mean, so the biggest thing with the power washing drones, first and foremost, safety. Okay. We don't have ladders. We don't have step stools. Our feet never leave the ground. The traditional method or methods of cleaning windows or building facades is rappelling down windows, being on swing stage scaffolding, pipe scaffolding. Any of those methods or any of the traditional methods are dangerous. If and when things happen, they usually happen catastrophically. And I said this backstage just 2 days ago in Kansas City. It was on the news. There was a window washer rappelling down on literally a piece of wood, which is normal, believe it or not. And he got stuck, and the fire department had to come and rescue him.
Well, this is amazing, really. I find it so interesting. What kind of drone is that?
And it's not just water; it's literal glass cleaner. It's concentrated glass cleaner and filtered water, all done on our rigs on the ground. and it gets pumped up. We use bleach if we have to for organics to get rid of the green, mildew and algae that you see on the north side of a lot of structures. But most of the time, it's just window cleaning, and it's extremely efficient. It's extremely safe, and it's a brand new industry that is
Yeah,
that
I can
literally
imagine. It's going
I'm
to take
bringing-
off. There's no doubt about it. This is going to take off. But what kind of drone do you primarily use?
So they're custom drones that are designed specifically for power washing. That's it.
Oh,
That's all. That's all
okay.
they use them. We use them for.
So it's not a typhoon.
No.
Okay.
No,
Yeah.
they're about 5 feet wide, 32 pounds before they take off.
Okay. Really? Wow. No, it's very, very interesting to say
So
the least.
also the first and only, or first and still the only person to have ever cleaned a building in New York City with an NYPD drone permit. I did that last November.
I was going to get into that with the permitting. Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's so that's a whole thing in itself. But I'm the first person that they've given a permit to clean a building with drones. So that was really, really cool. It's a 20-story
Sure.
building on Kent Avenue in Brooklyn. It was a perfect application. Contractor hired us because they converted an old building into residential, and it was a post-construction cleanup. A lot of windows, and it was great. It was really fantastic, and that really kind of catapulted us.
Yeah, that's history in the making right there.
So
First company to get a drone permit for window washing.
Yep.
Can I jump a question in here?
Sure.
So, as opposed to doing windows and facades the old-fashioned way with guys suspended from the roof,
Yep.
how much time is saved? It's got to be a lot faster.
So I'll give you an example quickly. I was on a job site yesterday. Like I said, I'm up in here in Rochester, and it's a development company, and they had 750 brand new windows that they just put in on this building. I think the highest is 6 or 7 stories. 700 and something windows. Okay. Traditionally, that would have taken 3 weeks. We're going to do that in 2 days.
There you go.
Wow. You really
So
you save a lot of time. It's so
Yep.
much more efficient. Really.
It's again, the safety is first and foremost, but the speed, the efficiency, we're not losing any quality of work because of that speed either. It's really amazing technology that we use.
Yeah, very, very cool. Hey, we got Tony, Quadcopters and Tech in the house. How you doing, Tony? It was good to see you in Brooklyn, by the way. You and your lovely daughter, Cassandra. But anyway, what is the highest you've ever did a job? The highest building?
The one I'm currently on.
Yeah. That's the highest.
So it's a 30-story building. From ground to top is 437 feet. It's the tallest building in downtown Rochester. I intend to finish it by weather permitting, middle of next week.
Okay. And
I
since you've been there, you ended up being approached to do more jobs, correct?
It's amazing. My phone's ringing as I'm flying, from the buildings that are just surrounding me. Rochester down here, or up in Rochester, I should say. It's a city, and I expected something, similar to New York City at least, and it's nothing like that. I'm standing in the middle of the city, and I feel very vulnerable because it's not a big city, is my point. So people, a lot of people see what's going on, and
Sure.
it just, wherever I am, gets a lot of attention, obviously.
Oh, definitely. I can see that. But we got another question from William. How much does a drone like that cost?
When I
Too
bought
much.
them about a year and a half ago, they were $50,000 each.
Oh, wow.
But
Okay.
that just gives you the drone. Then you need all the pumps and the hoses and the rigs and all that to spray water with them. So
Yeah.
you know, look, it's an investment clearly, but and they're not toys, all right. So you know, these are not the DJI, you know, the Mavics or the Minis or anything like that.
No, definitely
This
not.
is a serious drone, and you know, and it has to be treated that way.
Now, did the company give you training, or how did you get your training initially?
Hands on.
Hands on. Okay.
I mean, I learn every day.
Interesting.
I learn every day, and that's the hardest part for me. I'm pioneering this across the country. There is nobody for me to look towards for advice, which is extremely an amazing place to be, but it's extremely exhausting, stressful, and all of that.
You know, it's amazing. You know, it's just so coincidental that you're on and Rob made the arrangements for you to be on. But I had my rugs cleaned down in Florida. I go to Florida for the winter, and I had my rugs cleaned down there. And the rug cleaning gentleman, we started talking about drones and how I fly for fun, and we have this meetup. But he says, you know what I want to do? Because he called me up about 3 months later. He says, I got a great idea. You remember me? We talked drones. You know what I want to do? I want to start a window washing business. That's exactly what he said. So I'm going to put him in touch with you. I don't think he started one yet,
Absolutely should. Absolutely.
but I had no idea how to give him advice on getting into a business like that, other than DJI has some big drones. That's all I can tell him. You know.
You know, they have great agricultural drones. You know, they're fantastic in that department, but they definitely do not have power washing drones.
Darren has a good question. Do your drones have a parachute attached?
Nope, no parachute.
Okay, interesting. Yeah. And now Ron Johnson, that is, he's got a question. How long do the batteries last in that used drones, and how many would you use in a typical day? Good question, Ron.
Definitely a great question. So the drone's similar to some of the drones we fly. It operates on 2 batteries. I don't have any down here, but they're about 6.5 pounds each. And like anything else, the harder I work the drone, the less battery life I get. Typically, I'm not cleaning 400 foot, 500 foot buildings. The typical building is 6, 8, 10, 12 stories. I get 20 to 25 minutes of of working time
Okay.
at
Yeah.
that altitude. But you know, there are things that I'm designing to that exist already, again, for our drones, but I'm tailoring it to mine where it has constant power, you know, a tethered system. Because
Oh,
listen,
okay. Mhm.
look, the drone is tethered 100% all the time. That drone is tethered all the time to begin with.
Right,
to
with the
hose.
water line. Yeah.
Right. So
Yeah. Hey, we got Eric watching in the Bahamas. How you doing, Eric? Good to see you.
not for nothing, also on the fire department side, I live in Lido Beach, right? Long Beach has all of the high-rise buildings along the boardwalk. Not saying that I'm going to put out a fire, but I'm going to tell you, I can get my drone up, in Long Beach. The tallest building I believe is 12 stories. My drone will be fast. I'll be there faster and in the air faster than any engine will. And I'll be putting 8 gallons a minute at 3,500 PSI through any window.
Now, what do you think about that, Rob? Would that be an
It's not going
advantage?
to put out a fire, but I can tell you, it's not going to hurt it either.
Right.
You know,
It's fast water, and what he'll be doing is again, it's never about the PSI. It's about the volume of water. But just getting water on the fire breaks the thermal barrier and reduces the chance of flashover. So it's just a win-win.
Yeah.
I know I've seen them being used over in China. They use them for firefighting, And we got another question from William. He wants to know if you've had any failures with the drone.
Oh, I hope not. That's a lot of money.
No catastrophic failures. Just like any technology, even our DJI drones, they're glitchy. They're definitely more glitchy than a DJI drone, or a mainstream drone. But nothing more glitchy than just having to, maybe pick it up and recalibrate the
Yeah,
computers.
I got you. Okay.
There was one failure, one crash, if you will, but it wasn't a crash. Technically, it was my fault. On landing, it was a bad landing
Hard
area,
landing.
and again, learning, right? I should have known better. I now know better, and it just tipped over on landing, and I had to just replace a few of the propellers.
Oh, okay.
It is quite. It is very well built, and
Mhm.
it's not fragile.
Yeah.
Not that I throw it around, obviously, but it's much more sturdy than one would think.
Well, I have another one of your videos. This is your video. I guess you were up in Quebec. So if you want to narrate over this one, um,
So yeah, I mean, it's some. I think it might be the same building, different video of it, but again, it's just showing the precision of it. It is extremely precise. And one of the selling features is I could be as precise as just keeping it on the windows, but why? Why not clean the whole facade? So,
mhm.
I soap up the windows, but I rinse the entire facade, not to create leaks, of course, or damage, but especially, in the marine environments like where I live, we're encrusted in salt, right? So anything to get any fresh water on any facade is a great idea. So clearly, I do the windows and then I just wash the whole facade because it's easier to do that than just to focus on just those windows.
Yeah. Well, again, I can see where this is going to be a really, really busy business for you. You're going to be. You said you're going to start franchising it. Is that what you're going to do? That's your plan?
It's already in action. So, like I said, I
Yep.
started the company as Drone Op Solutions of New York, and then quickly incorporated under Drone Op Solutions of America. And yes, we actually have our first franchise being formed up here in Rochester, and it is totally random of how it happened. But one of the ways that I travel lightly is I just travel myself and my drones, which are in the back seat of my truck, and a trailer. And I find my help, right? I'm the pilot at the moment. And I find my grounds crew. Long story short, I found this gentleman. He's a University of Rochester student, and
Mhm.
he wanted to be a part of it, and I needed the help. So that's how that relationship started. Long story short, 4 of his housemates are also now my employees. So now we have 5 up here. All 5 of them are going in to partner to purchase my first franchise, which will be
Very, very cool.
so not only are they going to graduate college because they're still in college with a degree, they're also going to graduate owning their own franchise. And what I'm doing to make it affordable for them is they're working off their investment in, because what 20-year-old has that much money, right?
Mhm.
So it's a win-win for everybody.
Sure, sure.
Yep.
Congratulations on your first franchise, really.
Yep. I appreciate that.
And
Thanks.
William wants to know the name of the company that makes them.
Well, we'll be making them. We're in the process of making them, and that's
You're going to be selling them also?
Mhm.
Yeah, sure. Okay.
Yep.
Very cool.
So they'll
I
be
know it-
they'll be American-made drones. They won't have to worry about a
Well, I'm going to tell you
Asian
that.
drone ban.
You're right, but I'm going to tell you that these ones that I'm flying are also American made. That they are, but mine will be too.
Yeah, very, very cool. This is great, really. It it's I find it so interesting, and
It
I
is.
know the viewers are too because they're asking a lot of questions.
It is really, really cool.
Yeah. But anyway, listen, I have a little format, and I don't want anybody to laugh. But I do a tip of the week every week, and it's nothing real sophisticated. But this week's tip is just check your batteries. Battery maintenance is so important. Really, make sure when you insert the battery in the drone, it's seated properly and secure. A lot of times people don't even realize it's not seated, and it'll fall out. You'll lose connection. You'll lose your drone. Rob or Jamie, do you have any tips for the viewers?
Thanks for putting us on the spot.
Ray, I'll give the same tip that I gave because I lost my drone, right?
Okay.
And again, I know a lot of the people in the drone community said it wasn't my fault, but it's my fault. When traveling with your drone, calibrate it when you get to your next flying location. Calibrate the IMU and calibrate the GPS. The whole reason why my drone didn't return to home is because I didn't calibrate it when it lost signal. Right, even though it was in line of sight, we saw the drone. It was what 100 yards from us, right? 200 yards.
I know.
Right, it went into ADI mode. I was flying it back in ADI mode, and then the signal just dropped and went into the water. So again, I blame myself for not taking that 3-minute step of recalibrating the IMU and the GPS.
That's good. Good tip. Good tip, Rob. You have any tip? A tip for the viewers, Jamie?
I think similar to Rob is not to rush. Let your drone connect to the satellites. Let your home point update. To be honest, I don't think, other than one recently, which was my fault. I flew it over a boat over the radar and thought I'd not getting into any interference. I don't know why, and I lost it into the water. But while waiting and making sure that everything's connected and my home point has been updated, I haven't lost anything or had any flyaways yet.
Well, again, that's a good tip also, really, Jamie.
Thanks.
No doubt about it, And I'm trying to see if there's any other questions in the chat, and I don't see any. Don't fly over anybody. Yep, no doubt about it. Don't
I see
fly over
CT
anybody.
Pirate posted a link to your YouTube page.
Oh, awesome. I appreciate that. Thank you.
Oh, there it is. Yeah. Okay. Very good, John. Thank you. Yeah. That's great. Right here. Okay. Let me bring it up. But anyway, thank you, John. But anyway, while we're talking about it, we haven't talked about it yet, but Jamie, I know you're busy, you're working, but I want to give you your personal invitation to come to the South Florida Drone Meetup. It's an annual meetup that we have down in Florida, and this is in 2025. It's going to be our 5th annual, and we get pilots from all over the world that are attending it now. Last year we had pilots from Spain and the UK, and we've had pilots come down from Canada. Gary Foster's in the chat. He comes down from Canada, and all over the country. And it's a great time. So I want to give you your personal invitation to come. It's April 4th to the 7th, 2025 in Jensen Beach, Florida. And it's free to come. We get a great rate at the hotel, the Hampton Inn and Suites, North Stewart. It's only $139 for a room, $149 for a suite. And if you haven't booked your room yet, make sure you book it, because we're going to sell out of our block of rooms, and then you're going to miss out on that rate. So anyway, there's your open invitation, Jamie. Let me know if you can squeeze in a day or two, and I'll add you to the list.
Thank you. I appreciate it. And
Like
thank
I
you
said,
for the invite tonight, Rob, and Ray. Thank you, and everybody for the questions. Thank you very much.
No, you're very, very interesting, Jamie. Very interesting.
Thank you.
But anyway, we got 107 people signed up on the list. And
I'm 107.
You're number 107, right,
Yeah,
Rob?
I told you that.
Yeah.
107. That was my room number last year also.
I know. I don't see Barkley in the chat, so
Yeah, he's hiding.
he's lurking. I know. So, but all right, I'm trying to keep up with the questions. Here's another question. Let's see what this one is. All right, John, Connecticut Pirate, Jamie, what would be estimate the full rig cost to get up and running for all the equipment and drone to power wash?
Great
Good question, John.
Yep. So in my opinion, and obviously have been doing this. I have two power washing drones. I could not operate the company that I do with one. I bought two to begin with,
Mhm.
because I've been in business for too long to expect to think one of everything is going to be enough, especially something like this with the technology that is just brand new. Which just doubles the costs, right? But you're probably looking $100,000, between the drone, the equipment, the a truck if you don't have one, a trailer if you don't have one, it
Right.
all adds up. But even if you have the money, it doesn't mean you know how to use everything, right? So, not that it's difficult, but don't expect just because you can buy it, you can use it, right? It's not that easy.
And that's just the actual equipment cost. There's, again, like you had mentioned earlier, you should
A
have the
lot of
right
expenses. A lot of people don't realize all the expenses when you start up a
You
company.
should have literature available, advertising budgets. There's a lot that goes into
Travel.
Yeah, there's a lot that goes into it. So on 100K of actual equipment, at a minimum, you probably need another 100K to make sure you'd be stable for 2 years, right? You need an income too, and you're not going to have business in the beginning.
You're
So
right. Look,
yeah,
I mean, I'm a single family. I'm a single income home. I have two kids. I'm divorced, so it is scary closing my only source of income. But you don't, unless you take risks, you never know, right?
Well, another little thing that I do want to show is I do share a viewer video. So let me do that now before we run out of time. And this is from Paul Brown, Wedge Big. And Paul, this was an incredible video. So thank you for letting me share.
that's some drone shot. Look at that.
I know Paul is an incredible editor too. He's a great drone pilot. He flies camera drones and FPV. And I was really, really impressed with this flight. Some FPV flying, Paul, in the dark, But look at that. Very, very nice video.
From nosebleeds to floor seats, circle stronger than Cuban links. My gold decks, your gold plated. You verse me, now that's a reach. We ready? Who ready?
I wish I could fly like this. Very, very cool, Paul. Really, really, really great video. Really. Now, Jamie, do you fly FPV at all? I know Rob does.
I have a few. I kind of just end up crashing them, and that's about it.
Well,
Not really.
that's what they say. If you ain't crashing, you ain't flying, or crashing's half the fun.
Basically.
Well, Rob was gracious enough to let me fly his Avata, and I found that very, very interesting, to say the least. That's it. But I flew like a camera drone.
Yeah. The closest, I flew the FPV drone that Charlie Mafia built for a whopping 8.45 seconds before I flew it right into the dirt.
Oh, God.
But I really, the closest I would say I come to true FPV flight is with the DJI FPV. But I always have that safety button. When I'm losing control, I hit that brake and it just stabilizes right there in the air. That's the way I like flying.
pretty
But
impressive.
you've come a long way, Rob, with FPV, really.
Yeah, I've
'Cause
ripped
I
it
remember
out.
when you first started flying, really.
Yeah, I've ripped that DJI FPV. I've crashed it what 4 times. This is my fourth. Yeah, I crashed it 3, so this is my fourth one. I have no more left on my DJI Care Refresh.
Yeah, okay, there you go. And you're absolutely right, Jim. If you're crashing, you need more practice.
Yeah.
So, but I tell you guys, really, hey, how you doing, Brent? Good to see you. Good. But anyway, the hour goes by so quick, really, and I can't forget to do the contest for the monthly giveaway, which is only a $10 Amazon gift card. You guys are eligible. You don't know the lucky number. So now's the time for the viewers and you guys to put in your choice between 1 and 25. And I'll keep an eye out. I'll probably miss it like I always do. And then next week, we'll be picking who the lucky winner is. Anyway, nope. People are close, though. They're getting a little closer. Yep. And I think, oh, I saw it. I think it went by already, though. Oh, my God. Look at that. All right. There it is. Jim's droning. Number 25. I think he's the first to get it. If somebody else got it before him, let me know. But I reviewed the chat anyway. So congratulations, Jim. Your name's going to go in the hat for the drawing. But anyway, guys, I want to say thank you for being on the show tonight. And you both were very, very interesting, to say the least, you know.
Thank you.
And thank you to the viewers for watching. And Rob, now would be the time for you to say your goodbyes and anything you'd like to promote.
Yeah, I'll promote this. If anybody has a DJI Mavic 3 and needs some ND filters, DM me on Facebook, and whoever's the first one, I'll just mail it to you. Because I have the Mavic 3 Pro now because I lost my Mavic 3 Cine in the water. So I'll send them to whoever needs it, whoever gets to me first.
Very
And
nice.
Ray, as always, thanks for having me on. Jamie, I think I spoke to you more today than we did when we first met. But you have a unique business. Yeah,
I'm back
absolutely.
Home.
Well, thank you, Rob. Thank you. You were a great guest. And Jamie, now would be your time to say your goodbyes and anything you like to promote, like your business again.
I mean, obviously,
and your YouTube channel.
Yeah. My Instagram, you could find DroneOps NY, DroneOps Solutions on Instagram. Best way to get me is through there. And if you have questions, I love to interact and answer. So you can grab me that way.
All right. Well, like I said, thank you for being on the show tonight. It was a very, very interesting show. One of the best, and no doubt about it.
Thanks.
And again, guys, I always appreciate you watching. I'll be on again next week, same time, same place. But thank you for watching. And if you get a chance, get out there, fly for fun, but most importantly, fly safely.